Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, Just My Thoughts. Today's thought tracker is we're going to have a little bit of fun. We're going to take a step away from sports and analysis until this weekend. I told you guys that I've got the Colts coming up Saturday, so while we're waiting on Saturday, I thought it'd be cool to go back on something that we talked about maybe a month ago, maybe a little bit longer. I can't really quite remember, but we usually play a little game called State Your Fandom, and the last time we did this, we played it with the WWE, and I claimed over 200 wrestlers. How you doing? And I also told you guys that the next time we play State Your Fandom and we have the WWE version of State Your Fandom, that I was going to claim every woman that I'd ever seen in the ring. If you guys can remember, last time we played, I claimed all male wrestlers. So now I'm going to do the flip side of that. Now we're going to play State Your Fandom, and we are going to claim every wrestling female that comes to name and comes to mind that I've ever seen in the ring. And we are going to do that right after I take a drink of this drink. And before we do that, we're going to get out our handy dandy counter that we always use. Getting to it, there it is. Hey, look, from the last time we played 206, I listed 206 wrestlers. How convenient is that? So we're going to reset this thing to 0. As you guys can see, we're on 0. How you doing? There's absolutely no list. There's no background. There's no nothing. You can see like the Wi-Fi thing. Let's see. Actually, no, you can't even see the Wi-Fi thing. You can't see nothing. Nothing but the big fat 0 and how the counter works. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you're ready, I think I'm ready. We're going to get ready to start playing WWE State Your Fandom. Ready, set, go. We're going to start with Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai. We just knocked out Damage Control. How you doing? Gail Kim, Nia Jax, Tamina Snuka, Bret Hart's Natalia, niece, Bret Hart's, niece Natalia. How you doing? China. I don't know how China's number 10. Jacqueline. Ivory. How about Tori Wilson? How about Stacy Keibler? How about Trish Stratus? How about, for what it's worth, this shouldn't count, but I'm going to count it anyway, Stephanie McMahon, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler. Oh, normally I give you guys a goal. My goal was 40. I told you guys that, the last time we played State Your Fandom, but again, that was months ago, maybe a month ago. But the goal was 40. We're at 18, so we're doing pretty good. Back to the game, Ronda Rousey. Oh, now we're going to take a few seconds to actually think about it because we're approaching 20. We're at 19. Ronda was number 19. Oh, hey, I got the Funkadactyls. How about Naomi? How about Cameron? Oh, how about what was Fox's name? Alicia Fox. That's what her name was. Who I absolutely loved, even though she wasn't really that good. She was just funny. Alicia Fox is a very funny female wrestler. Mighty Molly, who was actually like hardcore Molly. I think she was part of the Holly family, Molly Holly, and then Hardcore Holly, and then Crash Holly. I think she was part of the Holly family. Molly Holly, that's what I'm going to call her anyway. But you guys know who I'm talking about. How you doing? We're going to go with. Oh, hey, who's that? Nikki Cross. We're going to go with. I believe I already said Nia Jax when I said Tamina Snuka, so I'm not going to count that. We're at 24, by the way. No cheating. We're at 24. Okay. I just said Becky Lynch. I already said Charlotte Flair. I'm trying to remember that whole class that came in, which we pretty much named that entire class that came in. Oh, hey, I don't know how I left her off already. We're at 25, and I'm just now saying her name. And she was the women's champion, Asuka. now the women's champion is actually Io Sky. It's kind of crazy because I don't even think Io Sky is really that good, but it is what it is. She's the champ. How you doing? Um, there's the girl that hangs out with she hangs out with the Vikings. What was her name? Sarah Logan. Maybe I'm saying that right, Sarah Logan. We're at 26. Uh, Roxanne Perez, the little girl off of NXT. I absolutely love her. How about Raquel Rodriguez? I absolutely love her. For what it's worth, I'm not. We're at 28, but I'm just gonna go on and tell you guys, I love all the Hispanic wrestlers. How you doing? It's just their heritage, man. Luchadors are awesome. The women wrestlers are awesome. The men wrestlers are awesome. I don't care if they're 16 or if they're 37. That they do good. Hispanic culture, Hispanic wrestling is all amazing. So how you doing? And I appreciate all you Hispanics out there luchadoring it up. I love you guys. Just want you guys to know that. So now you do. How you doing? Let's see here. Trying to stay in NXT here for a second because they actually have quite a few. Um, Actually, I'd say the NXT roster has more than the Raw roster. For what that's worth, but I don't watch NXT religiously. I just kind of catch their pay-per-views here and there, so I really don't know a lot of them. Oh, for what it's worth, I always tell you guys what I'm drinking. And I'm drinking a lemon lime, which is pretty much like a Sprite. I'm pretty much drinking a Sprite, just like a cheap version of a Sprite. But it is what it is. How you doing? At least I'm telling you guys. I don't care if you guys think what I drink. So I'm drinking a lemon lime, cheap Sprite. And we're at 28. The goal is at 40, so if I come up with 12 more females, we'd be doing good. Oh, Luna, if you guys don't know who Luna is, I'll spark you guys up your memories. Luna was the chick that hung out with Gold Dust back in the 90s, 97, 98, 99, and then he got rid of her and started doing his own thing, and then, how you doing? Yeah, for what it's worth, he's kind of always had women like Tori Reynolds, how you doing? Uh, who was his wife, by the way. He's always had women on his side, even though he was like a really strange and weird character. He was funny as hell, and he was talented as all get out, and he was, the son of the one Dusty Rhodes. So, for what it's worth, that's probably why he had all those females on him to begin with. Okay, so back to the game. We're at 30. We need 10 more for me to reach my goal. And I'm not even exactly sure if I should have counted Tori Reynolds because I don't know if Tori Reynolds wrestled ever. I just know that she was part of wrestling because of her husband, Goldust. But I listed her, so I counted her. It's the same thing for Stephanie. If I count Stephanie, I'm gonna count, Tori. Which that being said, Lita. I already said Trish Stratus, so I can't count that twice. And if we're talking about Sable, hey, how you doing? If we're talking about wives in the wrestling business, I could count Deborah, but I'm not going to. We're at 32. I'm not counting Deborah because Deborah wasn't a wrestler, but she was like a wrestling whore. What? I mean, she was a wrestling whore. Deborah was married to Jeff Jarrett. Deborah was married to Stone Cold. Deborah ended up having a relationship with D'Lo Brown. Like, she was a wrestling whore. I'm sorry. I don't care if you guys like what I'm saying, and I don't care if it sounds disrespectful. I'm just telling you a little bit about wrestling history. There was like ring rats. That's what they're called, and that's what she was. She was a ring rat, and she wasn't even very like she was extremely popular because she was rich, but she wasn't very pretty. I never once in my day ever thought that Deborah was an attractive woman. Cannot be said about like Trish Stratus and Lita, and Um, Stacy Keebler, she was a fox. How you doing? But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Deborah was not in the realm of any of those women. I don't even think she was as pretty as Ivory. I think Ivory was prettier than her. So, for what it's worth, and Ivory, created the PMS, Pretty Mean Sisters. I thought that was pretty cool. Her and Jacqueline, and there was one more. Like it started out as her and Jacqueline, and then they got another one. I just don't remember who the other one was, and it might have been Tori Reynolds. For what that's worth, Tori might have been part of the PMS group. I can't quite remember. I mean, I'm 35, and that was going on when I was like 11. So give me a break. The fact that I can even remember that's kind of cool. So we're at 32, and we're continuing on with the game because I think I still got several more women on my brain here. I haven't really touched on WCW, but I don't really remember Alondra Blaze. I really don't remember a lot of WCW women. So I watched it for the men. Not that I'm gay. I was a kid. Kids loved wrestling. I didn't really pay attention to the women. Like, if I was a teenager, I would have just obviously, like I just listed all these women, 33 of them. As I got older, I started knowing them and learning them and remembering them. That being said, oh, hey, look, there was another really big, beefy woman that kind of resembled China. Um, I don't remember her name though. Like Man was her last name. Um, oh man, Vicky Man, Victoria Man. Um, I want to say her name was Victoria Man. I'm not going to count that, but if you guys would do your, we're still at 33 here. If you guys would, Elijah Blaze was the 33. If you guys would do your history, you might find a woman named Victoria Mann, and I'm not going to count it, but I just, for some reason, that's in my head. So I'm going to say that that was the real deal thing, but just not going to count it. I'm going to cheat myself one because I know it was, because her name might not have been Victoria. That's the only reason why I'm not counting it. It's not that I don't know what I'm talking about, it's that I don't remember her name. Um, all right, back to the up to date roster. Women. WWE. What do they call them? Divas is what they used to call them. Now they're just women superstars. There's really only one woman superstar, and that's Charlotte Flair. How you doing? Did I count Bianca Blair? I'm gonna count Bianca Belair. I'm gonna count Bianca because I don't remember saying Bianca's name like ever once, and I think she's like second best wrestler. As far as women on the roster, I think it's Charlotte Flair, then I think it's Bianca Belair, and then I definitely think it's Becky Lynch. I think those are the top three women in the game. If we were to do a top five, I think Asuka deserves to be in that, and then I also think that I don't know, maybe Natalia deserves it just for the veteranship and the experience and the fact that she's a heart. So, I mean, maybe that would be my top five women. So, and that's a big maybe because I just don't know about Natalia. I know about the rest of them. I just don't know about Natalia. I just don't know about Natalia. Oh, hey, excuse me for, you know, having to do that, having to look away for a second. Um, Really big blonde haired dummy. I'm trying to remember her name. What was her name? She ended up becoming like a GM or a GM assistant because she was seriously trash in the ring, but she was good with business. And I cannot remember from the life of me. Maybe even had a relationship with. She faked a relationship with Teddy Long, like for TV purposes. But I think she had a real relationship with Booker T. Uh, and I cannot remember her name. Really tall, blonde-haired girl that was just trash in the ring. Why can't I remember who I'm talking about? I'm trying to think. What was her name? I don't know. I'm not even going to count her. I mean, I didn't count her. I'm at 34. Um, Bianca Belair was number 34 because I can't remember. I can't remember the blonde chick's name. And for what it's worth, I'm almost running out of names anyway. I'm like six away from my goal, but I don't know if I'm even going to be able to reach that goal. Even trying to use TNA, I know I said Gail Kim, but Gail Kim is, oh, Mickey James, boom. There you go. I was going to say TNA is really not helping me out, but it just did with Gail Kim and Mickey James. Um, and they had a few others. They had probably eight women on that roster. I just can't think of them. I don't know why. I just can't. Oh, ODB. That was one of them from TNA. So I used to call her Old Dirty Bitch because I didn't know what ODB stood for. So I called her Old Dirty Bitch. She was a Mexican, by the way. Was kind of tough, kind of beefy. Wasn't very attractive, but She was a beefy woman. She was like TNA's version of China, not near as good as China, but I think that's what they were shooting for with her. Jacqueline ended up on TNA for a little bit, but we already counted her as a WWE legend. Um, Very phenomenal in the ring performer, by the way. Jacqueline deserves to be in the top five best women ever. I didn't name her in my top five because I named active wrestlers. But if I would have just done like all time, Jacqueline would definitely be in that category. She was really, really good, really good. Trying to think. I'm trying to come up with some more TNA names. Um, but I'm running short. I'm four away from my goal. And I'm really upset that I can't remember who that blonde chick was. For whatever reason, I don't know why I don't remember the blonde chick's name. It's driving me insane. As soon as this episode is over with, I'm going to look her up because and the man woman too, just so I know what her first name was and why I don't remember, you know, the blonde dummy for whatever reason, but I can't remember her. We talked about Roxanne Perez. We talked about Raquel Rodriguez. Hey, the Rock's daughter is actually a wrestler on NXT, um, but I don't remember like her ring name, so that don't count. There's a couple of things I'm not counting. I'm not counting. That's the third one that I'm not going to count. Uh, Ira Dawn, I will count that. That's 37. Because I do know that that's a name in a wrestler. She's got like super freaking red hair, dresses kind of gothic. Is actually a really good in the ring performer. She was the NXT Women's Champion there for a little while, and then she lost it to in a ladder match of all things. There was like a battle royal ladder match, almost like an elimination chamber match almost. There was five women in that competition, and and it was for the NXT Women's title, and the woman holding the belt now won it. And I almost can say her name. I don't know why I'm going blank on her name, um, but I am. And she was actually pretty good. I mean, that's the reason why she won the match, and they gave her the belt because she can actually perform very well. She's actually a really really good wrestler. I just cannot come up with her name. Like I said, I'm not a religious NXT watcher, so if it's not a pay per view, I don't watch it. So that's why I'm going name blank on these chicks' names, on these women's names. I'm not going to disrespect these women by calling them chicks. That's not cool. So I'm not going to do that. I apologize to all the women out there that think that that's disrespectful. I'm sorry. That's not what I'm going for. I'm not trying to disrespect any of them, especially ones in the ring, because they can totally hold their own strength wise. They can probably kick my ass or, have fun trying. I don't know. But we're not going to go down that road. Um, we're at 37, and I'm going to give myself maybe just a couple more minutes. And if I can't come up with 40, we're going to wrap it up. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Let me think. Well, Mae Young. I shouldn't count that, but I'm going to. Um, I counted Mae Young. That's crazy. Uh, and the fabulous Moolah. I'm going to count her too. And let me think one more. If I can just come up with one more name, we'll be at 40 and I'll be happy. We're at 39 and I just had to use two really old bag of bones to do that. Shouldn't have had to have done that, but I did. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Last one standing. Who's going to be my 40th WWE Diva? Diva, 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 diva. I cannot believe that we're about to wrap this up at 39. Like, I'm so close, but I can sit here and think all day long and lose your guys' attention, and I don't want to do that. Um, so the goal was 40. I didn't name, I mean, I didn't count three of them for sure because I couldn't come up with their names, even though I know them and I can see them visually. I can't name them, that being the Rock's daughter, that being Miss Man, and that being the blonde dummy. Um, who I really, really, really should be able, I should be able to name her, and I just can't. Oh, hey, 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 I got one for you to make my 40. Um, oh, maybe I don't. Maybe I do. Yes, I do. Alexa Bliss, and the one that looks like Alexa Bliss. Like there's Alexa, and then there is the little video little girl. She used to have the pink and the blue hair. Oh my God, who am I thinking of? Who am I thinking of? I don't know, but either which way, Alexa Bliss made 40. There's about four of them now that I've just added the Alexa Bliss Jr. chick into the mix. For whatever reason, I don't know why I can't come up with her name or any of the other ones' names. But ladies and gentlemen, my goal was 40 and I made 40. So that being said, it's game over. But we're going to extend the episode a little bit, even though we're kind of done with State Your Fandom. We're going to stay in the mix of the wrestling world here for a little bit. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of insight of how I feel, generally. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to say per country, right? So like favorite Hispanic wrestler, obviously it'd be Eddie Guerrero. Favorite Canadian wrestler, Chris Jericho. Favorite American wrestler, Shawn Michaels. Favorite like English wrestler, I guess you could say, like British, English, kind of Londonish area. I'm gonna go with Drew McIntyre. Favorite Irish guy would definitely have to be my favorite Irishman. There hasn't really been a lot of them. And you would think that I'm going to say Sheamus, but I'm not going to say Sheamus. My favorite Irishman is actually Finn Balor. How you doing? Um, German? I don't know if I've ever seen a German wrestler. And for that matter, I don't know if I've ever seen a Russian wrestler either. So I guess I don't have one for those countries or nationalities. And let's see here. Well, actually, like Kozlov, I remember, I think it was Victor Kozlov, I think that was his name. I remember, vaguely the chants would say Kozlov's gonna kill you. So I'd throw him in the mix. Maybe he was Russian. Maybe he's gonna take my Russian favorite wrestler. Um, but again, like German wrestlers, I don't know if I've ever seen a German wrestler ever. Like maybe Rob Van Dam has like some German in his blood or something. Like maybe there's like heritage wise, I don't know all these guys' heritage, but I do know that Rob Van Dam was like he's Americanized. I think he was from I think Rob Van Dam is from like St. Louis, Missouri or something like that. So I mean he even if he does have German blood, he doesn't really count, you know what I'm saying? So we're not gonna count Van Dam, uh Rob Van Dam RVD. He was kind of cool, kind of. I don't know. I don't know if he was kind of cool or if he was kind of awesome. But, he's not even on my fave anything. He's just an RVD. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to pretty much wrap up the show. We played State Your Fandom, and I gave you my favorite nationalities all in one episode. So, if you enjoyed the show, always feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. And if you're feeling generous, always feel free to cash at me, Erick Coughlin, hashtag Coughlin Pride. Have a nice day.